Have you ever wondered how young people are changing the political arena? In a world where traditional methods of communicating with voters are losing their relevance, a new generation of politicians is emerging who are ready to challenge the status quo. Barron Trump is one such representative who is using modern technology and social media to establish a genuine dialogue with young people. But what are his secrets to success and what challenges does he overcome along the way? Stay tuned to find out how his story ends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on new exciting stories about how young people are shaping the future of politics. The world of political debate has changed significantly in recent decades. Whereas the scene was once dominated by seasoned politicians with many years of experience, today we are witnessing the emergence of a new generation ready to challenge established traditions. One of the most prominent representatives of this new generation is Barron Trump, the son of the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. Despite his young age, he has already managed to attract public attention and win the sympathy of young people, making him an interesting figure in the political landscape. Barron grew up in the digital age, where information spreads instantly and social media is the primary channel for communication. Unlike his predecessors, who often relied on traditional media to get their messages across, Barron uses modern platforms to directly engage with voters. His confidence and ability to connect with his audience allows him to connect with different generations, an important aspect in politics. One of Barron's key features is his ability to adapt to the rapidly changing information space. He understands that young people prefer to receive information in a format convenient for them, and actively uses this to his advantage. His social media appearances, where he shares his thoughts and comments, become viral, and his phrases become memes. This creates a unique opportunity for Barron not only to declare himself, but also to form his own image, different from that of his parents. Barron also demonstrates a knack for using humor and sarcasm to poke fun at the outdated approaches of traditional media. He makes witty comments and unexpected turns of phrase that grab attention and make viewers think. He is not afraid to criticize both his opponents and the system itself, which makes his speeches more lively and memorable. In this context, Barron becomes not just a participant in the debates, but an active creator of them, shaping the agenda and setting the tone of the discussions. His approach to politics and debate also reflects broader changes in society. Young people increasingly want openness and transparency, and Barron understands this better than anyone. He uses live broadcasts to connect with voters, answer their questions, and share his thoughts. This creates a sense of intimacy and trust that traditional media often fails to provide. As a result, Barron is becoming a symbol of a new approach to politics, where it's not just the information that matters, but the way it's delivered. Barron Trump thus represents a new generation of politicians who use modern technology to communicate with voters. His confidence, creativity, and ability to adapt to a changing world make him an interesting figure who could change the political debate and television news. Time will tell how far he can go. But one thing is clear, Barron has already made his mark on the political arena, and his influence is only beginning to grow. In today's world, where information spreads at incredible speed, live broadcasting has become an integral part of political communication. Barron Trump, as a representative of a new generation, intuitively understands that this format allows him not only to convey his thoughts to the audience, but also to create a unique atmosphere of interaction. Unlike traditional debates, where candidates are often limited to prepared answers and strict regulations, live broadcasting provides an opportunity for spontaneity and directness. Picture the scene: Barron goes to a debate where his opponents, seasoned politicians, are trying to follow the established rules and traditions. But Barron, with his charisma and confidence, decides to take matters into his own hands. He takes out his smartphone and begins broadcasting his thoughts in real time, directly addressing the audience. This is not just an attempt to attract attention, it is a strategic move that changes the rules of the game. During debates, Barron actively uses the opportunities of live broadcast to comment on what is happening, answer questions from viewers and share his views. He is not afraid to discuss sensitive topics and raise important issues that concern young people. His approach to communicating with the audience is different from traditional methods. He uses language that young people understand and actively involves them in the discussion. This creates the feeling that he is not just a politician, but a friend who is ready to listen and understand. One of the key things that sets Barron apart from other debaters is his ability to react to what is happening in real time. He doesn't limit himself to prepared answers, but uses current events and comments from the audience to shape his position. This makes his presentations more lively and dynamic, and allows him to quickly adapt to changing conditions. Barron also uses humor and sarcasm to mock the outdated approaches of traditional media and politicians. His witty comments go viral and his phrases become memes, which contributes to his popularity on social media. He understands that young people value sincerity and originality, and tries to be as open and accessible as possible. This creates a unique connection between him and his audience, who become active participants in the discussion rather than just spectators. Live broadcasting also allows Barron to bypass traditional media, which can often distort information or present it in an unfavorable light. He controls the agenda and shapes his image, which gives him a significant advantage over his rivals. At a time when trust in traditional media is declining, Barron becomes a voice that young people are willing to trust. Thus, live broadcasting becomes for Barron not just a communication tool, but a powerful means of influencing public opinion. His ability to use modern technologies and adapt to the changing information space allows him not only to attract attention, but also to form new standards of political communication. Time will tell how far he can go, but it is already obvious that Barron Trump is changing the rules of the game in the world of political debates, creating new opportunities for interaction with voters. In the digital age, social media has become an integral part of political life, and Barron Trump, as a representative of the new generation, actively uses them to shape his image and interact with voters. Social platforms such as Twitter, Instagram and TikTok provide unique opportunities for communication, allowing politicians to directly reach their audience, bypassing traditional media. Barron, with his intuition and understanding of modern trends, uses these tools to convey his ideas and views to young people who are increasingly looking for information on social media. One of Barron's key attributes is his ability to create content that resonates with a younger audience. He understands that to get attention, you need to not only talk about important issues, but do so in a fun and accessible way. His posts and videos are often filled with humor, creativity, and relevant pop culture references, which helps them go viral and spread his ideas. Barron isn't afraid to experiment with formats, using memes, short videos, and interactive polls, which helps him stay relevant and interesting. Barron also uses social media to build a community around his ideas. He encourages his followers to share their thoughts and opinions, which creates an atmosphere of engagement and participation. It's not just one-way communication, but a dialogue in which young people feel heard and valued. Barron understands that to successfully engage with voters, you need to not only broadcast your ideas, but also consider the opinions and needs of your audience. This makes his approach more human and accessible, which is especially important in a time when many young people feel excluded from traditional politics. Barron also actively uses social media to combat misinformation and manipulation that often permeates political discourse. He is not afraid to openly criticize his opponents and expose false claims, which helps him gain trust among young people who value sincerity and honesty. At a time when trust in traditional media is declining, Barron becomes a voice that is ready to resist manipulation and present the truth. However, using social media also comes with its own risks. Barron faces criticism and negativity that can come in response to his words and actions. It is important to note that in the world of social media, every step can be subject to public criticism, and Barron, more than anyone, understands the need to be prepared for this. His ability to handle criticism and use it to his advantage speaks to his maturity and ability to adapt to difficult conditions. Thus, social media is becoming for Barron not just a communication tool, but a powerful arena for political struggle. His creativity, ability to interact with the audience, and willingness to counter disinformation make him a prominent figure in the political landscape. In today's political landscape, youth are becoming an increasingly important force in influencing elections and shaping public opinion. Barron Trump, as a representative of a new generation, understands the importance of this electorate and actively works to attract the attention of young people to his ideas and initiatives. In a situation where young people increasingly express their views and preferences through social media and other digital platforms, Barron uses these tools to create a strong connection with the new generation of voters. One of the key characteristics of young people is their desire for change and their willingness to support those who offer fresh ideas and unconventional approaches. Barron, with his charisma and intuition, understands that in order to gain the trust of young people, it is necessary not only to talk about important issues, but also to do so in a language they understand. He actively uses current trends, memes, and cultural references to make his messages more attractive and accessible. This allows him not only to attract attention, but also to create a sense of closeness and understanding with the audience. In addition, Barron actively engages young people in the process of discussing current issues. He organizes online events where young people can ask questions, share their opinions and participate in the dialogue. This creates an atmosphere of engagement and participation, where young people feel like active participants in the political process rather than just spectators. Barron understands that in order to successfully engage with young people, it is necessary to take into account their opinions and needs, which makes his approach more human and accessible. One of the important aspects of working with young people is Barron's ability to raise pressing and relevant issues that concern the new generation. He is not afraid to discuss topics related to climate change, social justice, human rights, and other important aspects that matter to young people. His openness and willingness to talk about these topics help him gain the trust and respect of young voters who value sincerity and honesty. However, working with young people also carries certain challenges. Barron faces criticism and discontent that may arise in response to his statements and actions. It is important to note that young people tend to be more critical and demanding of politicians, and Barron, like no one else, understands the need to be prepared for this. His ability to cope with criticism and use it to his advantage speaks to his maturity and ability to adapt to difficult conditions. Thus, for Barron, young people become not just an electorate, but an important partner in the political process. The political landscape has changed significantly in recent years, and one of the most visible factors driving this transformation has been youth. Barron Trump, as a representative of a new generation, has become a symbol of this change, actively using modern technology and social media to engage with voters. His approach to politics, based on openness, creativity, and sincerity, reflects the desire of young people for change and novelty. At a time when traditional methods of political communication are losing their effectiveness, Barron demonstrates how to adapt to new realities and use them to your advantage. Social media has become not just a tool for disseminating information, but also an arena for political struggle, where every post and video can have a significant impact on public opinion. Barron, with a unique ability to create content that resonates with a youth audience, uses these platforms to shape his image and convey his ideas. His creative approach, based on current trends and cultural references, allows him to not only attract attention, but also to create a sense of intimacy and understanding with young voters. However, working with young people is not without its challenges. Barron faces criticism and discontent that can arise in response to his statements and actions. It is important to note that young people tend to be more critical and demanding of politicians, and Barron, more than anyone, understands the need to be prepared for this. His ability to cope with criticism and use it to his advantage speaks to his maturity and ability to adapt to difficult conditions. In conclusion, Barron Trump represents a new wave of politicians who understand the importance of the youth electorate and actively work to attract their attention. His approach to politics, based on dialogue, engagement and openness, sets new standards for interaction with voters. Time will tell how far he can go, but it is already clear that Barron is changing the rules of the game, shaping a new vision of the political arena. His successes and failures will serve as important lessons for future generations of politicians striving to be heard and understood in a rapidly changing world. Ultimately, it is the youth that will be the engine of change that will determine the future of political life, and Barron Trump, as one of its representatives, is already laying the foundations for this future. Barron Trump represents a new wave of politicians who recognize the importance of the youth electorate and seek to engage with them in a genuine manner. His creative approach, based on the use of modern technology and social media, allows him to not only attract attention, but also to create strong connections with young voters. Despite the challenges and criticism he faces, Barron demonstrates maturity in the ability to adapt to the changing conditions of the political arena. His work serves as an important example for future generations of politicians, showing that openness, engagement, and a willingness to change are the keys to success in today's world. Ultimately, young people will be the driving force behind change, and Barron Trump is already laying the foundations for a new political future.